State of the Sun Devils with Jeremy Schnell, Jesse Morrison, and Damon Allred.
An Arizona Sports Podcast.
Hello and welcome into another edition of State of the Sun Devils alongside Jesse Morrison and Damon Allred. I'm Jeremy Schnell. ASU loses its first game of the season at Mississippi State in week 2. It's a tough loss, guys. Got the field stormed on them. Hey, you know, they're
standard.
They're at a different standard now if they're getting the field stormed on them.
That was weird to see, honestly, following ASU football for as long as I have now.
An SEC team storming.
To see an SEC team storm on ASU, especially this ASU team, which we're going to get into.
We're not going to stop. We're not going to start there. We're going to start with the bad and the ugly.
Which I'm about. I was bringing up. But
okay.
Go for it.
The ugly was Sam Levitt's performance today. It was bad. He was 10 of 22 passing, correct?
82 yards.
2 interceptions. The first interception, you just chalk it up as a punt. It kind of worked out in their favor, honestly. But yeah, Damon, go ahead. Tell the stat that you just told me before we started recording.
This is the first time in Sam Levitt's history as a college quarterback, starter or not, that he has been below 50% completion for a game.
So not his best performance, obviously. Probably his worst.
Yards as well.
Yeah.
And we do have to say much worse in the first half than in the second half. First half, to start the game, it felt like he was just missing guys every pass. And the second half cleaned up a bit. I think the first half was 5 for 15. And then that would make the second half 5 of 7. So a lot better in the second half.
But they also went away from him in the second half.
Yeah, and back to their identity.
Yeah, they went back to their identity, which is running the football. And it's clear that they have guys that can run the football this season.
Oh, crazy that they have a 1,000-yard rusher they didn't hand the ball to last week. And then apparently he's just incredible. And they just should probably hand him the ball a lot more since he did really well in the second half.
Yeah.
200-yard guys today. Kanye Udo, as you're referring to, and Raleek Brown, of course, as well. I think Kanye looked really good as just the downhill guy that we all thought he was going to be.
And then couldn't get in the end zone at the end of the game.
Couldn't get in the end zone. That was such a tough moment for Raleek to be able to have that 26-yard run that I signaled in the moment felt like that Cam Scatterbo run last year against Mississippi State. Where he slid. Mm-hmm. And, it felt very like a mirror almost of just, okay, he had a moment where a running back went down early and they were able to drain some clock, drain some Mississippi State timeouts, but unfortunately, that was some time they could have used, huh?
Here's what I'll say.
And I think that goal line situation looked like the point where it would have been nice to have Cam Scatterbo. That was the first time this season that I think I've really noticed that, like, okay, Cam would have gotten in there.
Yeah. I'm just going to come out and say it. This wasn't because of the offensive line. Yeah. This wasn't because of blown coverages at the end of the game. This loss, unfortunately, is on Sam Levitt. And he had some really bad throws in the first half. He had a terrible throw late that, sealed the game for Mississippi State. This obviously is his worst statistical performance, and it showed by, the eyeball test as well.
I don't necessarily put this game 100% on Sam. Like, I think this game is on a lot of areas of the team, and that's what makes it concerning. If it was just on Sam, okay, Sam's got to play better next week. That's cool. But the offensive line, Ben Coleman, really rough game.
A lot of some snap operational issues.
He had 2 snap infractions. The first one was not called on him, but we could pretty much say the rest of the offensive line moved and he didn't. The second one was called on him. He moved the ball a little bit and the rest of the offensive line moved and he didn't throw the ball under his legs to Sam Levitt.
There was also the snap that Sam wasn't ready for that ended up being a 14-yard sack to end a drive that turned from 3rd and 20 into 4th and 34. And then they get the delay of game on the punting.
Great punt by Canyon there, though.
Yeah, that instance was in a game where Canyon had some rougher punts at the beginning of the game. That was one of the better ones of the game for sure. But really just a lot of mistakes in this game. And I don't think that this is squarely on Sam.
Yeah.
But if you're doing the pie chart, he's probably got the biggest piece of the pie.
Here's why I say that you got to put this on him. And he's the quarterback, supposed to be the leader of this team. We were saying all offseason that he needed to step up and play better, especially in games of this magnitude on the road against an SEC team. Doesn't matter that they had 2 wins last season. Still an SEC team, still a hostile environment. This is a type of game where if things are tough, you need to rely on your quarterback that is a Heisman candidate coming into this game, and he didn't deliver today. That doesn't mean that he's not going to have great games throughout the rest of the season. I expect him to be great at times the rest of the season. But this one stings, and I'm sure he's going to, put a lot of it on himself in his post-game interviews.
Especially for all that's been made about Sam as a leader, and just he's been painted as this guy that refuses to let you lose. This is a game where, honestly, a lot of that fell on him. And, I obviously in that same way where he's a guy that won't let you lose, I think he's definitely a guy that won't let you have 2 bad weeks in a row. And so I'm very curious to see what this week ahead looks like for Sam and really just for the whole team throughout practice.
You can't specifically look at the game coming up against Texas State as a get right game. You need to focus on Texas State, because if you look ahead to Baylor the week after, Texas State's going to come in and they're going to put 40 on you like they did today against UTSA.
Yeah, Texas State, they always have a pretty good team down there. I mean, ASU barely beat them last season.
3-point game.
Let's remember that. So that's not going to be that's not going to be a cakewalk for ASU. Like, I don't think any of these games are going to be cakewalks moving forward. But the couple other things I had, issues within this game, the penalties, again, they had too many penalties. ASU, you mentioned
one drive in particular was really bad.
Yeah, they were better in the second half.
They were, but they still had too many penalties. And Damon, you mentioned that the Kenyon Floyd play after the sack on the bad snap by Ben Coleman, like that stuff just can't happen if you have aspirations to go to the Big 12 championship. And
that was right after that offensive pass interference on Cameron Harpole too.
Yeah, and
which ticky-tacky there, but then, I mean, there were a lot of plays like
the pass interference on the first drive. Where was that one?
Listen, and ASU had a ton of plays that could have been called pass interference on them as well. So the rest were pretty consistent
consistently bad.
Yeah, but consistently bad on both sides in terms of the pass interference on the defense calls. Right. We can say that. But yeah, I mean, there were some calls that went against them. There were some calls that went against Mississippi State. Mississippi State came out on top, so they won't be complaining about those.
And then my other thing that I think was not very good tonight was the play of the secondary for ASU. The front seven.
Javen Robinson got beat.
Yeah, the front seven did really
well.
Not
on that last play in particular. Yeah. That was specifically Breedlove that got
It looked
beat.
Like some confusion about who had what assignment.
There were some plays that ASU got beat, and it just happened to be an overthrow or just an incompletion. It was worse than it even looked. So, I think some of that's on the scheme. Jeremy, you pointed out during the game that too much zone for ASU.
Way too. I mean, with a 6-year quarterback that they were playing against in Chapin, he was doing a great job at knowing that it was zone and throwing it into windows, throwing it to spots, knowing where his receivers were going to be. 19 for 33 or whatever Chapin was it's good. It's okay. But most of those completions, I would say, are probably against zone. So ASU needs to look at that and say, are we a team that can play zone against a quarterback that has the experience and can recognize what kind of scheme you're playing? And I also want to point out the touchdown that won Mississippi State the game. I just don't understand why they're not running 2 high safeties there. That doesn't make any sense to me. If you give up the field goal, it ties the game. Alford's helping on the other side of it wasn't Alford. It was number 1 on defense.
Keith Abney.
Abney.
Brown.
Yes.
According to ESPN.
Oh, we need to get into that too.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah, but Abney was helping on the other side of the field, which also I don't understand because the fastest wide receiver is on the other side of the field. And listen, Breedlove and he gets mixed up there on what the coverage was, and over the top it goes. But it seems like late in games, there's some confusion or some lack of awareness on what plays to call from the defensive side of the ball. And that's concerning because that's exactly how they lost in the Peach Bowl last year, and how they lost today not only was because of the position that they put themselves in throughout the entire game, having to come back and having to play from behind, but because of some of the defensive scheme that I just did not understand. Do you guys agree with that?
Well,
I mean, I totally agree, but go ahead, Damon.
My big hang up is I watched all camp and I watched how Keith Abney and Javen Robinson were just these super physical guys, way more physical than last year. And I was hoping to see a lot more of that come up in games, but I just don't think that we've seen a ton of that yet. And you talk about how much of a veteran secondary this is. Why aren't they playing more man if it's such a veteran secondary?
I think they didn't want to get beat by the fast wide receivers that Mississippi State has.
They did,
but
anyway.
then they did.
Then they did.
Yes, in zone.
And so, it's just definitely confounding in all those ways and more. But, I mean, for one thing to feel good about, at least, Jesus Gomez hit a 50-yarder.
Cool.
And their running backs.
Yeah, the running backs. Kyson Brown went down with an injury.
That's
Kenny said he was
sad.
dinged up.
Early.
For his homecoming game that we obviously
he had a
talked to
tackle
him
on
about.
special teams.
Yeah. But for 2 rushes, 11 yards, you'd certainly hope for more in a game where you're coming home to play in front of your friends and family and all that. But, I mean, just for ASU to have these 3 running backs where any one of them could get you 100 yards on any given game, I mean, you got to feel good about that situation as long as they're going to actually do it and make this, again, their identity. And I don't know how you can look at what just happened and then return to a more pass-heavy approach. I just don't know how you can do it.
Especially since we saw again, it just looks like Jordan Tyson is even the running backs today, they didn't really get the ball to.
Malik McClain got open a bunch of times and Sam missed him.
And
Sam missed him.
It looks like he can only make
There were a few
good
Jaron
throw.
Hamilton targets, by the way. That was nice to
that was
see.
cool. And one of them
Interception.
was super underthrown. And
And the other one was pass interference that they didn't call.
that's what I'm saying. It was too underthrown for them to call pass interference.
And then the other one was a pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, again, it looks like Sam can only throw to Jordan Tyson, and like his good throws go to Jordan Tyson and Jordan Tyson only. And Jordan Tyson's awesome. Like, he had another great game for ASU. He's the best player on the team by a mile, I think. So it might just be him, but I think we are 2 games in without with just Tyson and
Malik McClain.
Malik McClain with a couple catches against NAU.
Yeah.
I think that
As far as receivers go.
I think
And then Mateer didn't get involved at all today in terms of tight end. If I had a nickel for every time Brock Osweiler circled Shimon Mateer
Or Prince
and
Dorba.
Prince Dorba, I would be a millionaire. But yeah, I mean, Damon, wide receivers, what do you think's going to happen the rest of the way there?
I just think it was so weird because this isn't what you would expect from Sam as far as performing poorly on the road. We haven't seen him get rattled in hostile environments on the road before. I mean, you go back to the Peach Bowl where he was one of the only guys from snap 1 that looked like their heads were in the game. You know what I mean? And the Kansas State game you go back to last year, Sam looked really good in that one too. I just can think of so many more times where Sam has looked good on the road than he looked tonight, and I just don't understand what went wrong. Which you guys talk about that a lot, but I think that the running game gets him going more than it hampers his passing. You know what I mean?
Just
It gets him in a rhythm.
Yeah,
He doesn't even need to classic slide. Just get down, don't fumble, and
Fall forward, as Kenny talked about.
Yeah, it's just like the dude. It seems like there's one play where he could have just gone around and gotten down, but he decided to just run straight into 2 defenders.
Well, he was trying to get the first down.
I get that, but don't do that.
you're the quarterback.
You're the quarterback.
On the
Don't
number
do that.
12 ranked team in the
Yes,
country.
don't do
and you're
that.
ranked number 12 a lot because of yourself.
And Sam, I know he's never going to say this publicly, but he's seen Jeff Sims throw in practice. Come on, man.
Yeah, so it wasn't good, guys. And I'm going to say this on our pregame show next week when we're at the stadium talking about ASU versus Texas State. Kanye Udo needs to be the starting running back on this team. The running back 1. He needs to be the tone setter of this team. He needs to get the first handoff of the game. He's the power back that ASU needs, and he has the speed to back it up. And he's the only running back on this team that has 1,000 yards rushing in the FBS. Excuse me. So, that's my take.
What
That's my
about the
take
whole
on it.
pass pro? He played in triple option.
He was
I
in on
think-
third down today a bunch of times.
I think Raleek might still have the case above him just because
I don't think so.
it's 2 consistent weeks from Raleek versus 1 from Kanye and things like
Kanye didn't get any carries. He got like 3 carries last week.
2 carries.
2.
Yeah.
One of them was for 19 yards too, by the way.
And he got a catch.
And the other one was for negative yards. But just for what Raleigh has shown, I mean, the drive that was all runs that ended in a touchdown, it was started because of Raleigh. Raleigh was the one getting those chunk plays at first.
I'm not saying Raleigh doesn't get touches, and I'm not saying Kyson doesn't get touches.
And he actually had more yards on fewer carries today than Kanye, too.
Correct.
We've been too serious on this podcast, so this is what the ASU needs to do. So back when at my high school,
wing tee. He's going to do the wing tee. He's going to do the wing tee thing again.
No, it's not the wing tee.
Can you do it in 10 seconds?
Yes. So you get Sam at QB, fullback. You got Kanye, and then you got Kyson, and you've got Raleigh at your running back position. So yeah, run the wishbone.
Okay, your 10 seconds are up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. What do you guys think?
I think no.
I think we need to end this podcast before you start having other grand ideas.
But really want to harp on too. 1-1, yes. Maybe going to fall out of the top 25.
Probably.
Should fall out of the top 25.
But this does not take them out of Big 12 contention. They can still, which I know, yes, we have seen that this team is maybe not all that we've been expecting, or at least it's not there yet. But Big 12 contention is still within reach. I don't need people to get all panicky on the season.
I'm getting panicky. Sorry, Damon.
Yeah, but here's what I told Jesse before you came in here. I said, expectations are fine, but if ASU fans treat this season like they treated last season, as in a whatever happens, happens. If they have a good year, they do. If they don't, whatever. It's, they're going in the right direction with Kenny Dillingham. And that's clear. They have the right coach in Kenny Dillingham. So if they don't have the season that ASU fans were hoping for, that's okay.
It's not.
I mean, it can be.
No, it's not. Here's why it's not. Because we live in Phoenix, Arizona, and every single time there's a team that has expectations, they fail to meet those expectations. It's a bummer to everyone.
This is a bummer argument.
I understand that it's a bummer argument.
These teams are not connected.
I understand that they're not connected. Like, I understand that this is stupid.
It's cursed.
I understand.
The valley is
I don't
cursed.
believe in curses. I'm looking at the camera right now. I don't believe in curses.
Neither do I.
You started writing the article that said they won.
This is how you do
And
journalism.
then they lost.
You be prepared.
Okay.
It's not my fault that they gave up the touchdown and interception.
But what I'm saying is, like, it would just be nice if fans could just come to a stadium, an arena, or whatever, and expect a team to be good. Because this is just not, like, going one game at a time now, just enjoying the season, enjoying the ride. What? Like, no, they can't. No, this team is supposed to be good. But fans should be extremely disappointed if they don't live up to the expectations. Because, again, that's just what we see around here. But it's such a bummer for fans.
No, and I get it. But if they have the same attitude as fans as they did last year and be pleasantly surprised if they do above average, then...
But they're not supposed to. Can Arizona fans stop being pleasantly surprised? Can Arizona sports fans stop being pleasantly surprised? Can they just have a good team and it goes well?
No, I see where you're coming from, but I'm trying to temper expectations here because from what we saw in the past 2 weeks, it's not looking good. But from what Damon has seen at practice, this team has a high ceiling. And they can get to that ceiling, and it starts next week against Texas State.
This thought that keeps popping into my brain. There's been so few times during these two games where we have actually seen the team that we see out at practice every day.
I've seen the same offensive line I've seen at practice.
That's true.
I am starting to worry that it's never going to be seen. And I know that it's premature for me to be there because we're 2 games in and it's a 12-game season. And this team obviously has a lot of things that they can correct and that are within correctable reach. Like, it's not things that are out of their reach. It's Sam Levitt, who is one of the best quarterbacks in the country, had a bad game. You know what I mean?
I'm just doubting everything and panicking. I don't know. I'm in like full on panic mode. I'm not in a good spot right now, people.
A lot of questions, not a lot of answers at this point. Maybe we'll get some next week when ASU takes on Texas State next Friday. Maybe they'll get back on track. Next Saturday. Jeez, I don't know why I said Friday, but
there's a Friday game this month.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. We'll see what happens with the offensive line. We'll see what happens throughout the week with Sam Levitt.
Oh, man. I don't know how Ben Coleman can start another game.
Yeah.
At center, at least.
Wade Helton needs to start next week at center.
Yeah. That'll be where my eyes are Tuesday and Wednesday at practice.
Especially because Gimetto didn't have the best game at guard.
And Max didn't have a great game.
Well, Max is hurt.
Max is still banged up.
Max should probably have not
that
played
NAU
today.
game.
Yeah. Okay. That's going to do it for this edition of State of the Sun Devils. Thank you so much for listening and watching. You can find us on all forms of social media at AZ Sports Devils. You can find all of Damon's articles from during the game, before the game, after the game, you name it. He's got it on the Arizona Sports app and ArizonaSports.com, presented by Y-Refi.
Nice.
Yes, I did it.
I didn't have to do it for you.
For Jesse Morrison and Damon Allred, I'm Jeremy Schnell. We'll talk to you next week.
We have threads.